Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Morning. How we doing? All right, we are good to go. Am I plugged into the Ethernet? I'm not. Let me plug the. We'll ride on Wi-Fi today for now. Should be all right. We got that gigabyte Wi-Fi. What's up, everyone? Morning from Amsterdam. Yes, sir. RGTI, yeah, we're going to talk about that one. That news came out at the exact retest level. Actually insane. Chef, I saw your tweet last night. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. What's up, guys? Oh, I forgot to I forgot to erase the mentorship whiteboard. It's all right. 6-second delay between my PC and Mac. No idea, Martin. Call up the YouTube execs. Call them up. How we doing? Happy Thursday. We finally got some Tesla earnings, but it did nothing for us. Of course. So that did not get us outside of the channel that we were hoping for. But we do have some clear things going on here this morning. We do have some ESNQ levels that are starting to show a little bit of a picture, so we'll try our best to prepare. Yesterday, didn't really get anything going for me. Missed the best opportunity of the day, which was a retest rejection of the channel low, the Tuesday low. It was pretty, but just wasn't able to catch it on the intraday. Hopefully some of you did. We'll talk about it. We'll show you where that happened. We got our daily 20 pullback, which was sort of the thing we were talking about. That was one of our theses in the live stream yesterday was, do we need a daily 20 pullback? Well, we definitely got that yesterday. Bringing up the concept that we always talk about, no good deed goes unpunished. So that good deed on Monday where we went straight up, we basically just gave up the entire Monday straight up move, right? And you guys that have been here long enough know that that happens every time. So any straight up move typically gets given back. Any straight down move typically gets filled back to the upside. And so that's pretty much all that we did yesterday. We just pulled back, filled the Monday straight up, came back to the daily 20. And now today is an important day to see what that next move may be. Is it a pullback long? Is it a continuation to the downside? Those are the things that we have to try to decide today as traders on the intraday. So we'll try our best to prepare. That's all we can do. Show up, prepare, take our shots. Yeah. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, tomorrow we're live trading the entire day together here on YouTube. I hope to see higher numbers than we typically do. So we're going to have pretty much from 8 o'clock to around 8:45, which is our normal pre-market. Then we'll put on a little elevator music for you as I take a break, prepare for the day with the group. And then we'll pop back on the stream. The stream will stay running until we'll stay running the entire day until noon, but we'll pop back on the stream around 9:15, get a little 15-minute prep before the bell, and then we'll start the trading day, see what we can get. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. I'm excited for it. That should be fun. Should be a fun environment. I'm thinking about opening the chat to everyone. So it might be a shitstorm. I don't know. We'll see. If it becomes a shitstorm, then I'm going to go back to members only, but we'll see. It probably will be. I'm going to have my buddy Nick be a moderator in the chat. So he'll be, making sure that everyone's behaving. He'll be hawking the chat, answering questions. We'll be answering questions. I'm actually sort of thinking about what I think would be cool is to have a hotline number. Wouldn't that be cool? Have like a hotline so you can call into the hotline and you can ask a question. So I got to figure out how to do that. Little hotline number. That could be really cool. How's the house coming along? Good. The stem wall is going up. Stem wall is pretty much fully up. So you can really see the outline. The stem wall is insanely high. It's actually crazy. The finished floor height of the house is like 4 feet off the normal elevation, which is for flooding reasons. 1-800-DESI-TTL. I like that. Well, we would need. Is that enough? Is that enough numbers? No, we would need one more. We would need one more letter there, right? 1-800-DESI-TTL MF. That's too much then, right? .1 KD, nice. Yeah, I've been grinding some Battlefield. I've been grinding whenever I have some time. I don't typically have that much time, but whenever I have some time and I'm just relaxing, I'll jump on. We'll be nice to the new people tomorrow, Margin. We'll give them a little bit of a chance. Bless me. All right. Let's do it. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah, coffee's still coming. That's in the works. We're trying to get a design. So if any of you guys know anyone that makes nice designs, and I'm not talking like, hey, I created this on Microsoft Paint. I'm talking real designer. If you guys know anyone, shoot us an email. Email's down in the description. I have a few designs, but I want to, get more. So if you guys have some connections, shoot us an email. The email's down in the description. 1-800-BLESS-ME. That would work. That would work, right? 1-800-BLESS-ME. It would be. Yes. All right. Maybe that's the hotline. All right. Let's do it. Press that like button, subscribe. So yesterday we got Tesla earnings, which drove pretty much nowhere. Let's look at Tesla. Expected move was 28, I believe, or 30, around there. You are down 17, 18, so you are within the expected move as of now, but Tesla does look pretty weak, so we could maybe see a little bit of an expansion move on this one today, but right now all contracts will be IV crushed. That is as of where you are currently sitting. So puts and calls will both be sort of diminished this morning. But if we can get outside of the expected move, I'm not sure it's still going to be on here. 25. Was it 25? I thought it was higher. May have changed this morning. But yeah, you're close, but you need a little bit more juice to the downside for those puts to pay. But let's see. So NASDAQ futures. So we talked about yesterday needing a pullback to the daily 20 SMA. That is what we did. A beautiful failure, really. I mean, and this is where I failed yesterday, to be quite honest with you guys. I should have been more on top of this one. But you have a perfect break and retest of that previous day low on the NASDAQ, and you had it even more perfect on the ES. I mean perfect on the ES. So right in here, break and retest, break, retest, rejection. Beautiful reason for downside yesterday. Wish I nailed that one. Just didn't have the proper read there. I don't know. I just didn't see it right. So that happens. Sometimes you read it wrong, but that really was a beauty yesterday on the downside move. So made a lot of sense as to why you moved lower. Now, here's the thing about today, guys. it's definitely back into demand. However, there is something else that's important, and you can see it in the title of this live stream. We got the pullback to the daily 20, which is what we wanted, right? We went straight up on Monday. No good deed goes unpunished, straight back down, right? If you're going to go straight up, you better expect straight down. So that's what you did. You went straight up Monday. You went straight down Wednesday. Straight up Monday on ES right here, straight up and straight down, right? So as expected, we talk about this we talk about this for months, for years on this live stream. If you guys come here, we talk about the straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. You can't get straight up without knowing that there is going to be a straight down move in the future. It's just how the market works. So that was our day yesterday. So the question is, right, how meaningful was that downside? Was it just filling up some of this straight up move? Is it just a retracement that creates a new long? That's very possible. There is nothing in the books that says that is not a possibility, right? Is this just a Fibonacci retracement from these lows to these highs? Are we just retracing 50% back to the daily 20? Do we find a higher low, and do we continue higher? It's very possible. Now, here's the thing, right? That's going to probably be decided on earnings. So it's a very uncertain moment, right? Like, if the rest of next week has killer earnings, then yeah, you're going to see this turn into a retracement long. If the next week has terrible earnings, then you're going to see this go and make new lows, right? So a lot to do with the earnings season, a lot of uncertainty. Technicals, there is one technical read that would keep me out of the longs today, and I will show it to you right now. And that is very simply the fact that we are turning these lows and these highs back into rejections. That is what would keep me out of the longs today. It's pretty damn clear, all right? So if you want to be long today, you could try to look for this daily 20 to hold. You could try to look for that PDL to find some kind of a support, but I just don't love that you are seeing a failure back under this level, right? This was the level that you sort of wanted to see the market try to establish above. You have previous lows, previous highs. You have a break above it. You have consolidation. And it would have been nice to see the NASDAQ try to sort of maintain this or get a pullback, right? The other option was a pullback and then a reclaim. So to be long today, I think you need a reclaim. Right? I think the only way you would be aggressively long on this move after this fail is a reclaim back above Tuesday's lows right there and these lows from last Thursday. Without that, you're looking at a lower high here, right? You're looking at a lower high. You have rejections, holds, rejections. You're back under this high. You are back. Welcome back to the channel, right? Welcome back to the channel, which is just a disaster. So not great, right? You're sort of right back within this mess, which I just don't have a great read on, and nor do many, right? This is a very difficult read in here. It's very sloppy. It's all over the place. The only spot that I'm watching now to see if we can maintain is right here. It's around this 24,912. You can see these lows, these highs here. You have some low or highs that were established in this area. Possibly a little bit of a higher low in here, maybe previous day low, but it is all, right? If we sort of delete this, let's just go to this and look at the bigger picture. It is all back within this range. See that? That's where you're back within. So you've failed back into these highs and these lows right here, right here. So to me, I'm a little bit more on the bearish side today, to be quite honest. This is definitely a telling rejection, right? The fact that we have fallen back under this high, to me, is a telling rejection. And that's something to watch, right? So where would my short be today? There's a lot of situations here, so let's go through them. The first one would be a pop and fade. That would probably be the most interesting one. Pop and fade back into these highs, right? That would provide the highest risk reward. That would provide the most interesting potential downside move, right? Right here. Highs, pop and fade, bam, bam. If we can get another pop and another fade, that would be pretty nice. Now, just the short here off the open, You are going to be shorting, if it's not below previous day lows, you are going to be shorting back into yesterday's low, which I would be very cautious of. Right? I'm not really a fan of being short down into this low from yesterday, right? So I'm not really certain about this area right here. I don't really have the edge, or I don't have the conviction or the confidence to be short back into previous day lows right here. I never typically look for that. So right now where we're currently sitting, I honestly sort of just want to delete that. I want to delete all this. I really do. If I was to give you my truth here, I want to delete every level that's not when's this low, this low, this low, and not this high. So I think the only level I would keep on the charts here is previous day lows, because I'm not going to short into previous day lows, right? I'm not going to short into previous day lows, so I don't want to. I'm going to keep that level there. I don't want to be short here into this low and then get this happen to me. That I don't want to happen. Will I short potentially under a PDL? Yeah, I think that would be the only short I'd look for right here. Would be the short I'd look for on the intraday. If we can see a clean fail under yesterday's lows, I think you will trade down to this Friday low and this Thursday low around 24,600, 24,660. But that is it's not bad. That's a 200-point NQ short. That's pretty good. All right. So you might be able to catch a 200-point short there under PDL into 660. That's not a bad little spot. But I'm really not that intrigued by taking a short here into this low, because I am cautious of that holding again. And that looks pretty just not inviting to me. Where would the other spot be? The better short would be back on this pop and fade, which was back up into these highs. So if you do get one of these again, then that could be nice. But that would be a short entry up here and not down here. So welcome back to the channel. Lows, highs, pop, fade. That's opportunity number one to me, right? Opportunity number two, break and retest under PDL. That's opportunity number two. Opportunity number three would be longs on a reclaim of Tuesday's lows. That's really it for me. You got one. You got two right here. 1, 2, and then for the bullish side, 3. I wouldn't want to short here into PDL. I wouldn't want a long PDL back into the daily 20. I don't want to get all messed up inside this channel, so that's pretty clear. I want to hit this level, fail this level, or reclaim this level. Those are my scenarios today. You could look for the fail of the daily 20 for a real short-term trade. Like right now, you can maybe look to short this daily 20 to fade it into PDL. That is possible. It's tighter. Okay, it's pretty tight. I mean, it's not bad. Here's the thing, right? I think demand could step up here, here, here. It could step up here. It could step up anywhere inside this zone. So how much do you truly get? Is it one of these? Is it one of these? Random pop? Is it exactly PDL? Right? I'm a little bit cautious all in there where you started to build back from yesterday, right? But hey, maybe, right? Daily 20, short, back into PDL. That's a possibility. But again, that is very much, that entry point is pretty much dead center of this channel. So I'm not that big of a fan. All right? But you are seeing it. You're seeing a little bit of a daily 20 fail as we speak. So that could be something to watch. Let's see if the ES clears it up. S&P 500. So S&P 500 clears it up a little bit, and I'll show you how. So you guys can see right here, that's your previous Thursday low. If you guys remember that failure, these holds that we're trying to hold, look at that, right? Break, retest, rejection. So that was a great entry this morning before this started to happen. That was a sick entry right up here as you started to fade those previous highs. Nice curl back over. It's getting a little bit away from you at this point, the entry point, right? Because guess what? You are trading down into previous day low, which is 6,700. So you do need to be careful of that happening on PDL, right? And you have some previous highs here around this 67.18, 67.20 area. So a little bit careful within these highs, this area here, this area. You're sort of sitting right in that again. So I'm just not that fond of trading inside of this zone right here. Would I short under PDL? I think the best trade of the day, I will give you my favorite trade of the day. My favorite trade of the day is under PDL into daily 50 on the ES. That's a really nice spot. That's 50 points right there. It's actually 60 points. 60 points on the ES, under PDL, under 6,700, into the 66.40 daily 50. That's my top trade, in my opinion, right here for the short side, right? A little bit of a lower high, little one of these, one of those. That's top trade for me. If we get that, that's where I'd execute with a lot of confidence. Without that, I'll be a little bit less aggressive, right? Put it at that. That's something to look for, right? Right here. 6,700, PDL, break and retest rejection, bam, 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 down into the daily 50, 60-point ES short. I like that. That would also be a fail back under this 6,700 area here. So that's a pretty good spot to watch. I would be paying attention to that one today. Okay? All right. Sweet. All right. Moving on. Let's go to the SPY. So, on the SPY, that is, and you can see, here's the problem. Here's the discrepancy that you need to be watching today before you short, right? Remember we talked about, oh, look at that NASDAQ short. That could be interesting under the daily 20. Well, take a look. Look what you would be shorting into. If you shorted the NASDAQ right now, you would be shorting into the SPY daily 20, which is not favorable in my opinion, right? These highs, this low right here from Monday, you'd be shorting right back into Monday's lows. You'd be shorting right into the daily 20 on the SPY. I don't like that. This could very easily become a higher low and a reversal move off that daily 20, as you guys have seen thousands of times. So I don't really like that. You can see SPY here, highs here on the SPY, highs here, and look at this spot, 666. So this could still be a higher low, right? Don't get it twisted. That is very possibly a higher low on the SPY at 666. I think that's very, very possible. So watch that daily 20, watch that SPY level. Now here's the problem. Now if you long this, you have to understand that the long is only up into here at 670. So it's about a 4-point long on the SPY, which isn't bad. The best long would be a reclaim above 670. If you can get above 670, reclaim these lows, I really like that long. If you fail the daily 20 on the SPY, you will come down to the previous day low, under previous day low, into 659. I think that's your best short of the day right here. That's about a 5-point short right here from PDL to this 659. These lows from Friday. I like that. Okay, so please watch the daily 20 on the SPY today. That's going to be very important. QQQ. Okay, so QQQ also back into its daily 20 here, 602.87 area. Below that, you have PDL. So that's 600. I like that trade. Break and retest under 600 into 596, 4-point short on the Qs. Right here is why you're staying lower, right? Look how clean that is. Lows, highs, break, retest, rejection. Bam. 607.50. So as long as you're under 607.50, you really need to stay on the side of, okay, this might be a little bit weak, right? And I'm not going to just long things like the market is on a bull run, because this is a very clear reason for the market to go lower. You wouldn't be surprised to see this happen. If you saw this happen, you shouldn't be surprised. Why? Because you just created a rejection point under these previous highs, right? Failed back under it after trying to hold above it. You got above it. You needed to hold above it to create new highs, what did you do? You failed back under it. So that is technically, that is bearish. That is weak. That is showing weakness. That is showing selling in the market. So wouldn't be surprised to see more weakness today if that holds true. But you just have to be careful where you take entry points, right? You can't look at this and say, hey, I'm short here into the daily 20 and I don't care about it. Because what could happen? You could get taken out just like that. Maybe on another day it does this and goes lower, but today you could be taken out. So you still need to focus on entry points. To me, best entry point would be back up into these highs, short there, right? Or even a retest and rejection of 610. That could be even nicer, even better to create a larger bear flag, right? Take a look at something like this. See these 610 lows right here? Maybe you see a higher low here, build back higher, and then you get the bigger bear flag breakdown, right? That could be possible. That's another opportunity to be watching. Bear flag built back into the retest of these lows, come back up and retest that breakdown point from yesterday at 610, and then fade the move, right? So everyone that's chasing shorts gets squeezed out, and then the next day they see their short work beautifully. And they're like, why did I get squeezed out? Well, it's because you took a short at the daily 20. So got to be careful in here. Don't love the short entries in that zone. I like a pop and fade. I like a pop and fade. That's typically where you want to take your entry points on the short side after a weak pop, a dead cat bounce. Dead cat bounce into here, dead cat bounce into here. Some spots that I'm watching. Either that or you ride the extreme momentum if you are failing under previous day low. One of the two, right? Okay. Let's go to gold. Gold, nice hold of the daily 20 yesterday. Really nice. I'm sort of interested in the upside here. If we can, I think reclaim 4190 would be what I'd wait for personally. I think I'd want to stay away from this zone here. It looks very sloppy right now. This is a potentially good hold of these highs. So let me go ahead and build this out a little bit. This is a bigger zone than it should. This zone should be bigger right here. I think if you can hold these highs and these lows between 4080 and 4100, that's a good reason to look for gold to reverse back to the upside, right? Because you just had sort of a inverse head and shoulder here off the daily 20. If that market does slide lower today, gold could have a little bit of a relief as if it continues to have a little bit of an inverse reaction. Highs, lows, can it hold in there? Can it hold the daily 20? You can see the daily 20 stepped up beautifully yesterday. Very nice. Can we have some type of a pushback higher here? I'm interested. Not sure I'm interested until you reclaim 4190 though, because what could this be? This could just be a massive rejection again. Lows, highs, break, retest, rejection. So for me, on the long side, I think a reclaim above 4190 is where I'd want to see that new long right there. That would be really nice. Without that, I'm cautious, but you could get aggressive and try to long these lows. You could, right? There is an aggressive long here down into this zone right here. See that? See how you just keep sort of maintaining there? Lows, 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 a little bit of a trap here. You got some rejections, turned back into lows here. It looks like an area that's trying to build. So you could try to long this up into 4190 with that daily 20 below, with that 40-20 below. Some, stair-stepping long action here. Maybe back into 4190, but I think clearing this would be the ultimate break and retest long. So either one, right? This is the aggressive long without much confirmation. Really, you're just consolidating here, but you are starting to show holds at a very important spot. You can see right there. But you're probably going to have to be really patient there. Martin, appreciate that, man. Thanks for joining the Coffee Fund. You've been watching the pre-market live stream for a few weeks now. Super helpful. Helped me save tons of money. Appreciate that, Martin. Thank you. Awesome. All right. Let's go to IWM. The IWM. 245.50, 245.50, 245.50. Break, retest, bam. Daily 20, bam. This could be a pretty nice rejection today. I would watch this. This could be pretty clean. Now, it depends on the direction of the market, of course, but this is technically a nice-looking fail back under this Tuesday low, right? You have a break of previous day low, you have a retest of previous day low, and you're starting to see a failure of previous day low. If you fail under previous day low, which is obviously this is previous day low. I'm talking about Tuesday's lows now. If you reject under Tuesday's lows at 245.50 today and you fail under the daily 20, this could be a nice failure point for a move back down to 240. That's a nice look. Now, where does that flip? Well, if the IWM gets back above Tuesday's lows and holds, then you know you're on the wrong side if you're short. So you got to watch that as well. Okay. All right. Let's go to, did the Dow do anything interesting? Yeah, sort of, actually. The Dow is failing right back under that hold level. Look at that. Yeah, so you're getting some interesting failures, guys. Now, the problem is I could say that this is an interesting failure, and then, you know, an earnings report could come out and it could just blow the top off this market. So, you know, it's tough. It's tough to get too confident yet right now. This is an interesting rejection under these lows, right? Look at these lows. Look at this high, this high. You can see this low right here. It's failing right under it at 46.8. That's pretty clean. Now, here's the problem. Are you going to short into the daily 20? Probably not. So, for me, Dow, nothing really there. And you can see, actually, gold is still, you know, it's a watch here. I would pay attention to this one today. This could be one of the most interesting trades of the day because when everything else has been moving really slow, gold has had some pretty decent action. And I've been, you know, sort of trading it a little bit myself, and it's been nice. So, I'm going to be watching this one today. Maybe trade some GLD options as well. I like this. If you look at the GLD here, you can see right here, here's your highs, here's your lows. Look at this consolidation zone. All right, after holding the daily 20, that's a nice little inverse head and shoulder. Not bad, sort of cleaning up there a little bit. Can this facilitate a move higher up into 385? That's actually a really nice look. So that's going to be definitely a watch for me today. SMH is, I don't really know what to say about the SMH right now. It's just sort of silent. Every semiconductor is just sort of silent to me. The SMH is possibly on, you know, a breakdown point here. If you do fail this 334. Excuse me. If you do break this 334, that could be a spot to look for a downside move on the SMH if the markets stay weak. If that happens, there are some semiconductors that are interesting, and I'll point those out now. Before we do that, let's go to Tesla. And before we do that, actually, let's get some likes on the stream. If you guys could, please press that like button. 2,600 people here, 1,000 likes. Let's get 1,500. Let's get 2,000. Why not? Why not 2,000? Why not? 2,000 likes. Why not? All right. So, Tesla. I mean, guys, I think it's all pretty, I think we should all be pretty aligned that you should fill in this straight up move. Right? I really do think we should be pretty aligned on that. If you're not aligned on that, I think it's a little bit irrational, to be honest. This is a straight up move that never got filled. I think if you saw a move back down to this 373 on Tesla, it would provide, honestly, the best long opportunity on this stock. So you're just not getting enough strength to break out here. And eventually, I think you're going to need to see some juice get, you know, sort of popped back into Tesla. You're getting juiceless, right? This is not good. It's stalling. And when something stalls, you typically want it to pull back and refuel. So for bulls, you know, if you're bullish on Tesla, if you want to look for a bullish trade, I think you should want this deeper pullback. And that would provide some actual volatility and action on Tesla to trade, right? So I'm sort of in that boat right now, even as someone that, you know, likes trading Tesla upside, and I own Tesla shares, right? I'm a Tesla bull, I'm not like a irrational bull, but I am bullish on the stock. And, you know, even for me, I want to see this down, right? I don't want to see it just mess around up here anymore. This is just not, it's not fun. It's not exciting, right? Let's get something going here, right? Let it tank it, do something. So, you know, let's see. Maybe under 414.50 today, we get the 400. If we break the daily 50 and 400, we'll get our 373. We'll fill in this straight up move, and then we'll be able to maybe look for that reversal trade again, which could be very nice. Right? That would be a really nice look at the daily chart, right, guys? I mean, here's your daily, and look at this area on the daily. It's no bueno. And I think at some point, I think we should all expect to see this. Retest of this high, curl this thing back higher, right? Little break and retest, break, retest, come back down to 373, come back down to this high here. Then let's find that new long off the daily 100 SMA. All right? That makes a lot of sense. So that's what I'm going to wait for there. I would not be trying to long Tesla with this clear supply above. It's rejected every single time. Through all odds, it just keeps failing. You can look to possibly short it under 414.50 today, under 440 today. You could, or under 400. You could look for it. Watch the daily 50. If you failed under all of those, then you should get a nice short to 373. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Hopefully we get it. Nvidia, dead to me. It's dead to me, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but it is. Nothing here. Look at this action. It's totally just it's a mess. I got no interest here. The only place I'm interested is back down to 175. I'll create an alert back. I'm sorry, 174. If it can come back down to 174, then maybe I'll look for a nice little reversal long off the major lows. If it pops into this high, maybe you can look for that short again. But in the middle of this channel, there is zero interest for me on Nvidia. So nothing here. I am interested in AMD downside today, and I'll talk to you about why. I think AMD under 225 is actually a perfect short. And the reason for that is because, hello, look at this down here, right? This thing is basically begging for it to come back to it. Hey, come on down, right? Come back down to me. Hold me. Hold me here. This is where the arms are open, right? Arms are open to hold AMD right in here. So I think you're going to get that personally. How would I take that trade? I would look for a break and retest under 225. Here, back down to 205. That would be my watch. These lows from Friday, these highs, this high from that event from the news. Give me a break and retest rejection, 225, and then let me fade this thing back down to 205. That to me is a great trade. Very nice pocket of opportunity there. The poo zone, pocket of opportunity. Let's see what volume profile has to say. I'm assuming it's relatively light in that zone. We'll see. Yeah, it's sort of light right where it's at. It gets a little heavy back down towards like 218s. Gets very light down here, obviously, because of the gap up. It starts to lighten a little bit down here. It sort of picks back up at like 218. But I think there is definitely an opportunity to look for that under 225. That's something I'm going to look for. 225 on AMD. If markets are weak, if semis are weak. Big if. Excuse me. A little tired this morning. I need maybe another espresso. MU, nice rejection. Perfect rejection, actually. Look at that. Bam, bam, bam. Perfect pop and fade. MU under previous day low, I think, has the daily 20 in it. I would be watching that today. 192.40 into 186. I like that spot. That's something to keep eyes on there. TSM, I got nothing for you. 287 still just sitting here. Broadcom, I got nothing for you. MU, I just talked about. MRVL, not much. I think the two semis that I would watch today is MU and AMD. MU is coming back down into these previous highs, so that daily 200 SMA could hold again. Not too fond of that one. ARM is sort of an interesting break and retest rejection you could look for today if the markets do show weakness, but we have to see what happens on the market first. 167 right here. Something to watch there. All right, let's move on from semis. So next, Meta. Some interest, not that much, but some. 721 higher low, still under 745. You have yourself a little bit of a new channel here, a new structure point. You can see you have structure. So can Meta create new lows where these highs were? Right here. Can we create a new low at the daily 20? Maybe. Where would my trade be? Reclaim a 745. So nothing there yet for me. Apple, good pullbacks, but you are rejecting a major level. Look at the, oh wow, Apple's starting to reject heavy. Look at this. Look at this. Bam, right here. Bam, bam, bam. So that's pretty nasty. That's pretty nasty. You are rejecting at the exact previous highs. Let me show you. Look at this right here. And that 260.10, which is all-time highs right there. So break, retest, rejection. If you're living under these highs, I don't have a reason to long this. Unless you get a back above it, reclaim it, bam, reclaim ripper. Back to Friday's highs could be interesting. Back to the daily 20 could be interesting on a retracement, but I don't like that you're seeing a failure right at that previous high. That's something to pay attention to. Netflix is not something I'm going to be that aggressive on, but you could watch the daily. I'm just going to say this. Watch the daily 200. That's all. Let's just see what it does, right? That's a monitor. It's not a trade. It's a monitor. I'm monitoring the daily 200. 200 SMA. Let's see what it does there. Monitoring. Okay, let's get into Palantir. Palantir had actually a really nice break and retest. This was the trade that saved my day yesterday, right here. This was my 30% Palantir downside trade. Little break, retest, rejection. This was actually beautiful. Break under the daily 50 and 172. Retest it. Show me the bear flag, right? Little bear flag right here. Break, retest, bam. This is about 30%. Nice win to get back to break even on the day. Really nice. Okay. So that's that. Today on Palantir, I don't really like any short because I wouldn't short into 169, 172 lows. That looks like a very heavy demand level down here, right? So for me, there's no short here. Maybe there's a reversal trade back off the daily 50, but again, look at this thing. Just so sideways. Just not my forte. Oklo is interesting again today. What a sell on this stock. It's gotten sort of pummeled since the highs. It's almost off 50% from the highs. So, yeah, really good read here on the weakness. I haven't been able to catch the downside very well, but that's all right. At least I protected my upside. So, protected my profits, basically. Here's the highs. Here's the lows. Look at this. Not good. That's not good, right? That could definitely facilitate more downside. So, highs, lows, look at this right here. Rejecting 122, 123 pretty nicely. If that rejects, you're coming down to this 110 low and that daily 50. If you get under that daily 50, you might be coming back down to, sheesh. Yeah, you might be coming back down to 198 area. Back into these highs here. It's very possible. The long on Oklo would be to see this hold very aggressively and then reclaim this spot right here. If you hold these lows very strong, consolidate in the zone, and then reclaim back above 122, back above these highs, these lows, and this low here, that would be your long. So that is a long that you could look for. But that is only if you get a back above this bear flag that's starting to show, right? Look at this. You need to get above that at the very minimum, or that is a nice downside move. RGTI, what a nutty move. So what did RGTI do? This is actually insane. RGTI went straight back down to the retest level that we talked about on this live stream. When everyone's yelling and screaming RGTI, what did we say? We said it will pull back to the retest level. It will. It always does. It always pulls back to the retest level. It does 100% of the time. It may not do it within a few days. It might do it over a few months, maybe a year. It always comes back to the retest level. If it does not retest the breakout point in the short term, right? Like if RGTI did this, and then this, and then this, then maybe it doesn't retest that. But look what you did. You had a breakout point that never retested, just straight up. It extended itself. Bam. Look at where it held. Bam. Bam. And guess what? The most ridiculous fact of all of this is that this data or this news comes out right at the retest level. That is sort of just, that's insane. That is like that will forever confirm my thesis and my conspiracy theory that key news comes out at key levels. That will confirm my conspiracy theory, and I don't care what anyone has to say. My conspiracy theory on the market is that news comes out at key levels, and this is the ultimate. It's the ultimate confirmation and proof of that. I mean, this news came out at the exact 34 retest level. Look at this. That's the exact low from yesterday, and this is what happens. Like, you can't make that up. You can't make that up. Look at the daily chart, right? Look at this daily high. See this? See that right there? Look at where the news came out, right there. It's insane. It's insane. So, that's pretty cool. Now, I think you need to read between the lines on this news before you go out and just degenerately buy this again. They're saying they could get government backing. Maybe, right? So just be aware that it's a could. That's all I'm going to say. So make sure you just understand what happened. I would say to confirm along, right, if you really want to long this stock, 44. It's pretty damn clear, right? Get back over 44. That's what I would do. Get back over 44. Give me a reclaim of this rejection point right here. Give me one of these right here. Bam. One of those, right? Give me a hold back above this zone. Then I'll look for it. Give me a break of the downtrend. Give me something that shows me a technical reason to look long. You got your break of downtrend. Give me this 44 now. Then maybe I'll look for it, all right? It could be nice. CRM broke back under 258, 260, not interested. Google now becoming uninteresting inside this just sideways channel, so that's no longer interesting. That's it. I'm not that excited about today's trading day. I'll be quite honest. I don't see that much. I hope tomorrow's is better, right? I hope tomorrow's is better. Yes, Alex. So what we're doing tomorrow is probably like once in a quarter type of event. You know, maybe every 3 months I do a one free Friday. Maybe twice a year or something. It's not going to be something that I do often. We probably will do like a little bit of an event in the future, just to sort of have some fun. It's fun to do some events. I'm excited. You know, just switch things up, not be so mundane. Do something fun, do something exciting. So we'll probably do it again. You know, have an event, do something like that. But yes, like what you're gonna see tomorrow is basically what we do in the community every day. That's sort of the idea, right? It's my snake oil salesman pitch to everyone out there. I'm not, you guys know how it works, okay? I'm not some BS that's like, oh man, you know, I'm just doing, like, obviously we're doing this so people can see what we do in the community, and, you know, maybe it entices you to join and come hang out with us. And of course, that's a business move, and you guys are old enough and smart enough to know what business is, and it is what it is. You know, I'm not someone that's going to come online and act like some naive idiot that doesn't, you know, be open and clear about the things we do to run my community, right? I mean, it's my business. I take it very seriously. The reason I don't care to talk about it is because I take it very seriously, right? Like, this is my business. It's just like anyone else's business in the world. There's no difference. I take it very seriously, as if I was owning a brick and mortar shop, right? If I owned a restaurant, if I owned, you know, whatever it might be. So, you know, it's, you know, if you got something to say about that, then, you know, I really don't care. It's the way I treat it. I know in my heart, and when I go to bed at night, and when I put my head on the pillow, I have no guilt. I have no, you know, regrets. This is what I do for a living. I help people try to learn trading, and that's what I've decided to do with my life. I mean, really, there's no turning back. This is my life. If I stopped today, I'd have nothing. So, you know, I would just trade, of course, but, you know, it's nice to have some kind of business that you're building. Trading in itself is sort of just like it's nice. It's, you know, it's It's not a business, though. It's fun to have a business. It's fun to work on something every day, improve it. What else can I offer? What else can I do? What else can I provide? What else can I, create? What new ideas can I create? What can I do on the live streams? What can I, maybe live events, right? Maybe we do something in person, right? This is fun to me. This is more fun to me than just sitting in front of a computer screen and risking money all day. That's like, trading is great. I love it, but also building a brand and building a business is definitely a very fun time, and something that you guys should try, man. Like there's no barrier to entry. Become a good trader and do the same thing. Build your brand, right? Build a name for yourself online. This is the most. You can't fight the truth, right? People, and here's your little talk for the day. Just whatever it is, what it is. We'll talk for a second. People love to rag on like people making money online. Do it. What is stopping you, right? Do it. Make money online. Who cares? Why do people sit behind a computer screen and complain about people that make money online? Do it yourself, man. Jesus. Right? Like, that's my mindset. So I'll never hate on someone that's doing well. It's such a terrible thing to do. Do it yourself. Get motivated. Stop sitting behind a computer screen, all right? Jeez. And I'm not talking to anyone here. I'm just just in general. That's my opinion. Sad. Gold's pushing. So yeah, in long story short, that's why we're doing the free thing tomorrow. Plus, it's free, right, for you guys. So it doesn't hurt. It's a win-win. It doesn't hurt anyone. I'm not forcing you to join our community. But, it's a win-win. You get to watch for free. I get to, increase the amount of people that watch our live streams, which helps me, right? So, win-win. All right. Yeah, that's up to the person to understand whether the person that they're paying is someone that's real or not. That's up to you, right? If you're smart enough, you can figure it out. If you're conscious enough, you could really look into it and understand. So, that's up to the consumer, right? If I got scammed by some, crypto scam, I'm not gonna, it's on me. That's on me, man. I was the idiot that did it, So, yeah, it's wrong, right? These people that fake their stuff, it's wrong. It's terrible. But I think most of us should understand and do some due diligence before you learn from someone. Make sure check them out, see what they're all about. Are they helping you? Is it something that you enjoy? All these things important to look at before you just sort of throw money at something. So that's why we do the live streams, right? Do you like me? Do you like the way I teach? Do you like the way I trade? Maybe you do, and that's for free. And then maybe it's something you want to join our community and join our team. All right. Kato, appreciate that. Casey, appreciate that, man. Thank you for, or I'm not sure if that's Casey could go either way, right? That name goes either way. But appreciate the coffee fund donation. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the live stream. Press that like button if you did. Subscribe if you did. If you didn't, apologies. And I'll be here tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. It'll be a fun day. Peace. Whoa, Josh. Love it, brother. Thank you, Josh. GG's Josh in the chat. Peace out, guys.